This water is ours. Move your beasts back.
Ours? We were here before your master ever pitched a tent.
Two families, one blood, and a land grown too small to hold them both. Before there was fire from heaven, there was a quarrel over water. And every great fall begins with a small choice. The older man was Abram, later called Abraham, whom God had called out of his country toward a promised land. The younger was Lot, his brother's son. Abram had raised him as his own. God had blessed them both with flocks and herds and tents, until the land could not bear them both. So their herdsmen fought.
Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right, and if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left.
Hear what Abram did. He was the elder. The land was promised to him. By every right, the first choice was his, and he gave it away, to keep the peace and to honor his own blood. And Lot lifted up his eyes, and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, like the garden of the Lord. So Lot chose. He chose with his eyes.
The whole plain, green from end to end. I will go east.
Listen carefully. Lot was not a wicked man, but he chose his whole future by how it looked, green fields and shining cities, and never asked what kind of people lived there. All that glitters is not gold. The most beautiful road can run straight into the most dangerous place. Choose by what is right, not only by what looks good to the eye. So Lot took all that he had and journeyed east, and pitched his tent towards Sodom. But the Bible tells us plainly what the eye could not see from the ridge. The men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. Lot had moved his family to the very edge of the most evil city on earth. Years passed, and though Lot lived among them, he never became one of them. Scripture calls him just Lot, a righteous man who, dwelling among the people of Sodom, vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. Every day he saw their wickedness, and every day it grieved him. He had chosen this place for its beauty. Now he lived inside its rot and could not save it. Then the Lord appeared to Abraham by the trees of Mamre. 3 men stood before him, and though they looked like ordinary travelers, they were no ordinary men. Abraham ran to meet them and bowed to the earth.
My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away. I pray thee from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, for therefore are ye come to your servant.
So do, as thou hast said.
Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth.
My lord, is there a problem?
No, bring me the best calf, quickly. I need you to prepare this calf most urgently. I have guests.
Most certainly, my lord.
So Abraham set a feast before them, bread and butter and milk and a dressed calf, and they did eat. Then one of them spoke a promise.
I will certainly return unto thee, according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son.
After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my lord, being old also?
Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed, I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son.
I laughed not.
Nay, but thou didst laugh.
She laughed because she was old, and the promise seemed impossible. And the Lord answered her laugh with a question that still answers ours. Is anything too hard for the Lord? Then the men rose up and looked toward Sodom. And the Lord chose not to hide from Abraham what he was about to do. The cry of Sodom and Gomorrah had come up before him, and their sin was very grievous. Judgment was coming. And Abraham's heart went at once to one man inside those walls, his nephew, Lot.
Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right?
If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes.
And Abraham began to plead, not for himself, but for the family he loved. 50 righteous, he asked, then 45, then 40, 30, 20, and at last,
Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once.
Peradventure
10 shall be found there.
I will not destroy it, for 10's sake.
Pay attention to what Abraham did and learn it now. He was standing in the gap for a loved one. He did not shrug and say, Lot made his choice. He pleaded. He interceded. This is what we are to do for the people we love. God hears the saved who stands in the gap. Two of the visitors went on to Sodom and came at evening. Lot saw them and knew at once. No stranger was safe on those streets after nightfall.
My lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house. Wash your feet and rise up early and go your way.
Nay, but we will abide in the street all night.
Do not stay in the street tonight. It is not safe here after dark.
He pressed them to come under his roof.
The men of Sodom and Gomorrah are reprobates, the worst kind of people. You don't want to get caught in the city at night.
And there he made them a feast and baked unleavened bread, and they did eat.
I hope your rooms are comfortable and I trust you have a peaceful night.
But before they lay down, the men of the
Lot,
city
where are
surrounded
the
the
men
house,
which came
all
into
the
thee
people,
this night?
from every quarter, young and old. Then came a great knocking at the door.
Bring them out unto us, that we
Their
may know
intent
them.
was as vile as it was violent. They meant to defile and abuse Lot's guests. And Lot did a desperate, fearful thing. He went out to the evil mob and shut the door behind him.
I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
In his terror, he even offered them his own daughters instead. A panicked, misguided bargain the Bible records but never praises. It shows how far the pressure of that evil place had bent even a righteous man. But the wicked mob would not be turned.
Stand back! This one fellow came in to sow drown, and he will needs be a judge.
Hear their answer. Who made you a judge? This is the voice of the reprobate, so in love with sin that a single word of correction turns them to fury. Offered mercy, they threaten murder. This is what wickedness becomes when it is fed and never checked. But the men, the angels, pulled Lot inside, shut the door, and struck the whole mob with blindness, both small and great. And here is the terror of a hardened heart. Though they were blinded, they still groped along the wall for the door. Judgment had fallen, and still they would not stop reaching for their sin. That is how deep it can run.
Hast thou here any besides, son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place. Because the cry of them is waxen great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has set us to destroy it.
Lot warned his sons-in-law, but to them he seemed as one that mocked. They would not come. Morning came, and still Lot lingered. So the angels, in the Lord's mercy, laid hold of his hand, and his wife's, and his daughters, and brought them out of the city by force. Then came the command that had to be obeyed exactly.
Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee.
Neither stay thou in all the plain.
Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire out of heaven, and overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and everything that grew upon the ground. Do not miss this. One righteous man had pleaded for these cities. God had promised to spare them for just 10 righteous souls. And still the fire fell, because 10 could not be found. And even Lot's own sons-in-law, who laughed and stayed, were consumed with the rest. God is love. But God is also holy, and he does not treat sin as a small thing. He has a low tolerance for wickedness, especially the hardened, who are offered mercy and spit it back. His patience is real. So is his justice. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Stop here and think carefully. All she did was look back. It seems so small. One glance to see what was happening. Where is the harm in that? But God had said plainly, "Look not behind thee." and she did the one thing he had said not to do. In God's eyes, that was not a harmless glance. It was disobedience, and her heart still tied to the city she was told to leave behind. The lesson is this: God's commandments are not suggestions, and they do not expire with time. What looks small to us is not small to Him. Many of His laws may seem old or hard, but His word stands above the ages, and Jesus Himself said, "If ye love me, keep my commandments." Love for God is shown not in feeling, but in obedience, even in the small thing, even when no one but God would see. And Abraham rose early and looked toward the plain, and the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. Lot was spared, not because he had chosen well, but because one man who loved him had pleaded before God, and because God was merciful. And there is one warning more, because the Bible will not let Sodom be forgotten. Again and again, the New Testament holds these cities up as a picture of a judgment still to come. Jesus said that as it was in the days of Lot, when fire and brimstone fell and destroyed them all, even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. Not one city next time, but the whole world. The world grows more wicked, not less, just as Scripture foretold. And though it may seem God has been silent for thousands of years, His justice is not cancelled, only delayed by His mercy to give us time to turn. So choose the right road, not merely the one that shines. Pray for the ones you love. Keep His commandments, and do not look back. For Jesus said it plainly. Remember Lot's wife.